Hello everyone and welcome back to Turkish series Stars, where the stories behind the spotlights come alive and the whispers you've been hearing finally get a voice. If you're new here, tap that subscribe button and switch on notifications, because today's tale has already set timelines on fire and turned comment sections into battlegrounds. We're diving into what really happened to Cemre Arda's eyes, the swelling, the shock, the frantic speculation. And yes, why this strange episode has both shaken and strengthened the bond between Cemre and Gökberk Yildirim in ways fans are still debating. The moment Cemre stepped out after a long day on set, the cameras didn't just find her, they devoured her. Her usually luminous gaze, that bright, expressive look we all know so well, was shadowed by unmistakable swelling. Within minutes, the images were everywhere. Was it a late-night tearful fight? A beauty treatment gone wrong? An allergy? A secret surgery? The rumor mill didn't just start, it went into overdrive, and the couple's name trended before anyone could even agree on a theory. But what if the truth isn't glamorous at all? What if it's stranger than anything the internet could invent? Our team dug in, spoke with people on the edges of the set, watched and re-watched clips that casually slipped into the public feed, and pieced together a version of events that fits the timeline, the photos, and the tone of the reactions from those closest to Cemre and Gökberk. And as unbelievable as it sounds, the culprit wasn't a scandal, nor a vanity mishap, it was a tiny, exotic creature with an outsized impact. Here's how it unfolded. Cemre was filming a demanding sequence for a new project, the kind of scene that asks an actor to hold still and let the environment do the talking. The set design was ambitious, styled to look like a sultry, humid corner of a tropical night, lamp glow, thick air, and yes, living elements to make it feel real. Sources say a species from a South American region had been included to elevate the atmosphere, strictly handled by trained professionals. Nothing unusual, nothing unsafe on paper. But as all veterans of the industry know, the unpredictable is always a silent guest on set. During a retake, when Cemre leaned in for her mark with that trademark total focus, something microscopic shifted in the air. Not a sting, not a scratch. Think instead of dust, the near-invisible kind that glints when a spotlight hits it just right. The creature, feeling crowded by movement and heat, released a defensive mist or powder. Tiny, delicate, and harmless-looking, it drifted into the scene like a secret no one noticed until it was far too late. Moments later, Cemre blinked hard. She didn't flinch, didn't break character, but makeup artists on standby noticed that familiar prickle of panic, something was off. They paused, dabbed, tried to salvage continuity, and rolled again. The swelling crept in quickly, faster than anyone on the crew expected. Close-ups betrayed what powder and foundation couldn't hide. Cameras are merciless that way, beautiful when they capture artistry, merciless when they capture reality. Cemre, ever the professional, kept going until a medic quietly stepped in with cold compresses and a gentle, practiced voice. The diagnosis, a reactive response to a secretion, a rare kind of irritant known more in science notes than in red carpet conversations. Word spread like wildfire from the set to the street, and then to every corner of the internet. The thumbnails went from "Is she okay?" to "Something happened," to "It's serious," in record time. Fans flooded timelines with messages of worry and love, while the cynics cracked jokes about pillows and imaginary brawls. Some even spun a tale about an experimental beauty serum gone wrong. But perhaps the most explosive speculation wasn't about Cemre at all, it was about Gökberk. He had arrived near the end of the shoot, unannounced, as he often does when schedules allow. Those who saw him describe him as calm but alert, the way someone looks when they've trained themselves to be steady in chaos. He reached for her hand as the medic spoke. He listened more than he talked. He stayed close without crowding her space, a small detail that fans caught in a fleeting clip and turned into a declaration. This is what devotion looks like. Some gossips, of course, tried to spin it into tension. Did he disapprove of the risky choice to have exotic elements on set? Did he argue with someone in production? If he did, it didn't show on his face. What did show was focus and a protective patience that felt as unmistakable as the swelling itself. Back in the car, Cemre put on sunglasses and tried to smile for the lenses that always find her. Supporters praised her composure, and even those who usually remain silent chimed in to wish her a quick recovery. The jokes, as always, followed close behind. People teased that her enemy was a moth. Memes compared her to a fighter who'd gone 10 rounds and still won. Yet under the humor there was a deeper note, relief that it wasn't something worse, and admiration that even in discomfort, she hadn't let frustration replace grace. From the medical side, the guidance was straightforward. Rest. Cold compresses. Topical care. Monitor for complications. Thankfully, the reaction didn't threaten her vision. It was dramatic, alarming to look at, but ultimately manageable. The crew adjusted call times. Lights were softened. The schedule breathed. Cemre sent a brief message to a friend that inevitably found its way to the public. It looks worse than it is. I'm okay. We move. Those 2 last words landed like a rallying cry through her fandom. And Gökberk, what did he do? He kept it simple. No grand speech, no theatrics. Just a short story clip of a folded ice pack on a dressing table and the caption, "We've got this." In an era where grand gestures are currency, the quiet was louder than any headline. The couple, so often the target of outlandish narratives, let the smallest facts speak: a hand on a shoulder, a patient wait outside a dressing room, a car door held open with a small squeeze before it shuts. Behind the scenes, production took the incident seriously. Protocols exist for a reason, and when something rare breaks through, those protocols evolve. The handlers reviewed handling distance and release triggers for the creatures. The set team considered alternatives. Could the same effect be achieved with clever soundscapes, light, and practical illusions? Some say the scene may stay, trimmed and reframed. Others say it became folklore instantly, one of those moments that the crew will tell for years, an odd badge of authenticity that came with a lesson. For Cemre, the aftermath turned into a strange mix of inconvenience and unexpected connection. Fans shared their own stories of sudden allergic flares and accidental mishaps, as if to tell her, you're not alone, even in your glamour. It humanized her in a way that carefully staged images never could. And for Gökberk, the incident cast a spotlight on a part of him that often stays off camera, the steady partner, the unflappable observer, the man who doesn't need to be seen to be present. Was it dramatic? Yes. Was it avoidable? Maybe, maybe not. Life on set isn't chaos, but it always carries a wild card. When a scene demands truth, sometimes truth arrives with a sting, or in this case, a whisper of powder that no one noticed until the eyes that carry so many characters could no longer hide their own real story. In the days that followed, Cemre's swelling subsided. The redness softened, the tension around her eyes loosened, and the look that has anchored so many roles began to return. She joked privately that she'd just been given a masterclass in reacting without acting. And though fans begged for a detailed explanation straight from her, she chose restraint, a simple message of thanks, a promise that better days were right around the corner, and a gently lit photograph of a cup of tea on a quiet morning table. Of course, the couple's name stayed on everyone's lips. People asked if the project would face delays. Insiders suggest it won't. The scene order was shuffled, the team pivoted, and the director found a new rhythm. When you work with performers who bring discipline and heart, a setback is just a step to the side before the dance continues. And if the final cut carries even a hint of that night's tension, perhaps it will only make the story richer, a reminder that art and reality are never as far apart as we pretend. One question, though, has given this entire episode a life of its own. Does a scare like this change a couple? If you've watched Cemre and Gökberk as closely as their fans do, the answer seemed to arrive without being spoken. Sometimes, when the world presses in and the lens magnifies every flaw, the only thing that matters is the person standing next to you when the lights go off. Cemre had that. Gökberk provided it. And the next morning, when she walked back on set, a little cautious but unbroken, he was seen again, a quiet shadow at the end of the hall, nodding to the crew and staying just out of frame. By now, the theories have begun to sound like bedtime stories. A curse on the production. A rival's prank. A skin treatment disaster. Even whispers that the swelling was a cover for a plot twist in the series itself. Charming as those tales are, the reality is more ordinary and far stranger, a natural defense from a fragile, beautiful creature, colliding with human ambition to make something feel true on screen. No villain, no scandal, just a lesson wrapped in a moment that hurts more to see than to endure. So what does this mean for the future? For Cemre, it's a mark of resilience that will quietly stick to her name. For Gökberk, it's another chapter in the story he's been writing away from scripts, the one about loyalty and the grace of not needing to announce it. For the production, it's a memo written in bold letters: authenticity is powerful, but safety rules the day. As the buzz settles, one image remains. Cemre stepping out with barely their makeup, eyes calm, a small smile hinting that the worst has passed, and Gökberk walking a pace behind, letting her own light lead. The cameras still hum, the world still watches, but the scene belongs to them now, no drama left to perform, no lines left to deliver, only life, steady and unremarkable in the best possible way. And to you, the heartbeat of Turkish series stars, thank you for riding this wave with us. Tell us what you think. Did this incident bring you closer to Cemre and Gökberk as people, not just names on a poster? Should productions rethink how far they go for realism, or is this the price of making worlds that feel alive? Drop your thoughts below, share this story with someone who needs a reminder that celebrities are human too, and stay with us. The next twist is always closer than it seems, and when it arrives, we'll be right here with the truth behind the noise. Before we go, a final word for those who worried most: Cemre is well. The swelling was dramatic, but temporary. The glare of the headlines has softened, and the hearts that mattered most never left her side. Gökberk didn't need to make a speech. He just showed up, and sometimes, that is the only story worth telling. You're watching Turkish series stars, where the curtain never fully closes and love stories are measured in the quiet moments between takes. Stay tuned, stay curious, and as always, stay kind. We'll see you in the next one.